Good evening. It's Friday night, guys. Hey, how is everyone? I hope you're well. Been another busy week here in our household. Lots of things going on, but all good. I hope that everything's good where you are too. And as you pop on tonight, I'd love it if you said hello. And if you haven't been on before, let me know where you are. I love finding out where people are from. Hey there, Angie. Nice to see you. Hi, Kay. It was good to see you this week. I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. All right, I'm just going to double check that I'm live in the right place on my Facebook page. Should be good though. Thinking it looks good. Turn off the sound. Here we go. Where am I? No, not showing up. Why am I not showing up? Oh, thank you, Angie. I'll just refresh the screen. That might do it. And ta-da, there I am. Hooray. All right, all good. Okay, I'm going to pop this phone in the holder. We'll get going. I've got a few things going on tonight. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Shirley. Hi from the Hunter Valley. Hello. Nice to see you. So tonight I have to zip off after I finish this video to go pick up the kids. Hey, Margaret. Nice to see you. Oh, you've been waiting. Yeah, I'm running a little bit late. I just dropped the kids off, came back. Now I do the video and then I run off and pick them up again. That's how it works. Hi, Joan. Hi, Deb. Nice to see everyone popping on. Hi, Megan. All right. I have a couple of cool things to show you tonight. So let's get this turned around and get going. Here we go. Hey, Helen. Nice to see you. I'm going to flip this camera around. All right. Put that in the holder. All right. So in case you've been living under a rock, you may or may not know that our mini catalogue retirement list, retiring products list came out this week. And if you haven't seen it, there are some fantastic bargains. Oh my gosh, definitely time to go have a look. Plus, as if that wasn't enough, then they went and they updated the clearance rack on the online store as well. So both those things have happened. Oh, you had a good day on Thursday? So much fun. I'm really glad. That's really good, Kay. So yeah, if anyone has any questions at all for me, hey Chris, nice to see you. Anyone has any questions for me tonight, please ask. If I miss them, then ask me again, because I keep looking away to do whatever it is I'm working on, and then sometimes I miss comments if they're coming through really quickly. So either way, we'll sort that out. Anyway, what I've done. This is how I do a retiring list, because it just makes it so much easier. We have an actual list, like a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet kind of a thing that has all the retiring sets on it. But I have to tell you, it's really confusing, okay? Really hard. So the easiest way to know what's retiring, what's carrying over, what's discounted, all that kind of stuff, two ways. Either the easiest way of all, go onto the online store and everything is shown there. If something is in the mini catalogue and you can't see it, it means it's already sold out, okay? Because some things have sold out. Now, as a demonstrator, I feel like I need to get my head around what's retiring, and I need to know, kind of at least have a bit of an idea. So what I did with a friend, we went right through the whole catalogue with our highlighter pens and highlighted everything that is leaving, everything that's saying goodbye. Okay, so if it's highlighted, it's going. And so this has been really handy. I've been able to give this out to a couple of people. I'm a bit terrified. I need to do a couple more, because I'm a bit terrified if I hand it to people, they don't give it back to me again. I'd have to start over. But I did use this at my classes this week, on my scrapbooking class the other day, and that I think was really useful. People could see at a glance what was retiring. But the online store is the other place that's really easy to see what's retiring. Okay. If there's something particular that you're wondering whether it's retiring, you can either ask me tonight while we're live. Yeah, some things did sell out quickly, Angie, and that's always the case. That is no different to usual. But I'm surprised at something. Now, unless it's gone, I did look earlier today, and this gorgeous Blackberry Beauty paper, I was surprised that didn't sell out like on day one. The Whimsy and Wonder paper did sell out. That's this paper with the pinks and greens and blues. That has sold out. That's gone. not the whole suite. The ribbon has also gone. So there are some things that have gone, but this paper is still there. So I wanted to play with it tonight because I think it's nice to play with things that you can still get if you decide you want them. The Beauty of Tomorrow stamp set and the matching dies called Beautiful Leaves, those are both going as well. Everything on this page is going except for the gold shimmer ribbon. Okay, this ribbon, this beautiful stuff, that's staying. Okay, that's not going to be discontinued. So everything else on the page is going, but these guys, not only are they going, but they're marked down by 50%. So once again, I don't think they'll hang around the whole time. I'll be really surprised if this paper doesn't sell out soon. That will surprise me. Hey there, Judy. How you going? Yeah, you know what? I'm never shocked anymore, Angie, because I just, you know, they know when they post them if they're going to be able to, if they're going to keep them on or not. And it doesn't really seem to matter how popular they are. I think they know ahead of time whether or not things are going to stay or whether they're going to go. And I don't know who makes the decisions. I have no understanding of what the thinking is behind some sets. Hey, Salvega, hi there. I don't know why some people, why some sets sell out, or sorry, get retired, and others don't. Really don't know. Hey, that's not my job to know that. I just go along with whatever happens. And I try and help my customers get the sets they want before they go. So if I know you're after something, I can keep an eye out. But I imagine this paper will go quickly. And there's a whole bunch of other things in here that have already gone as well. But there's lots of things that are still current and things that are marked down. Okay, so the Painted Christmas bundle. Okay, and this is another thing. The bundles are going, but the individual stamp sets aren't. Okay, so the Christmas season stamp set, this one that's paired up with this matching die set that's down here, those are still going to be available, but as individual items. So they'll no longer be a bundle, which means you won't be getting that 10% saving. You'd have to buy them separately. So you may decide that you still want to get them, even though they're not being retired, the bundle is going. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Hey, Dolores, nice to see you. Which set did you use for the 70th birthday card, Judy? Which one? Was it the one where I'm using tonight? Because I'm going to make something with these tonight. I thought that'd be fun to use these. The paper's still available. Did you just check, Megan, right now? Did you go check? That's helpful to know. Because I looked this morning, but I haven't looked tonight. So I planned it out ahead of time because I knew I was going to be busy this afternoon. But, and that's not like me to plan things out in advance. Very, very, very unusual. So, hey, I don't know what's going on there. All right, let's put that out of the way and bring in the real thing. So I've got the dies, I've got the stamps. I love this big, even though I don't know when I would use it. I have used it once on a card. It says the changing of leaves reminds us that new wonders are just around the corner. I love the sentiment and I love the scripty, scrolly writing. Love that. But I'm not sure I would use it all that often as a stamp on like a sentiment. But I tell you what, it makes a beautiful background. So if you want to like cover a background in that particular stamp, it just looks lovely. In fact, did they do them on here? I think they did. Look, see, they've done it here. They've actually done tone on tone. Blackberry, it's either Blackberry Bliss or it might actually be Rich Razzleberry. But there's, yeah, it's Rich Razzleberry. They've used the Rich Razzleberry ink on the Rich Razzleberry cardstock to create that stamp just stamped over and over, and it just looks really, really pretty. So I don't know if you can see that very well. Try and bring it up a bit closer. Can you see it? Oh, thanks, Megan. Megan's put the code for the paper for us if anybody wants it. So that's really, really handy. Thank you. All right, so I'm putting those out of the way before I get too distracted. So this is the card that I made this morning. And I actually did a Instagram reel with this because I wanted to show how easy it is to do this beautiful background. And I thought we'd recreate this tonight and do the whole card because all I showed on the reel was just how to do the background. I didn't show how to make the card. So I think it turned out really, really pretty and it's just so easy to do. So let's bring in what we need. We are going to need a piece of paper. Now, when I'm using water techniques, my go-to papers are either watercolor paper, especially if I am actually watercoloring because it's a very porous, textured paper. Then we've got a smoother paper in this one, which is shimmery white. It's probably hard for you to see, but there is actually like a little bit of shimmer through this paper. It's very, very pretty. I, often use this one if I'm wanting to do like weddings or anniversaries or engagements or something like this. Is paper that I like to use for that. It's thicker than Whisper White, Basic White cardstock. It's thicker. Probably similar in weight to the thick cardstock that we have. But it's really, really nice for taking water. So when I'm wanting to do a water technique, which is what we're doing today, for this one, this is done with a spritzer. Okay, and what I did was I used, to show you very quickly, I used, these are the dies. These are the ones that are 50% off. Okay, oops, it just fell out. All right, so this one here, I don't know if you can see, I've actually got a piece of paper in there right now, but there's the big die here with a couple of little leaves, and on the next page you've got some that cut out some of the stamps from the set and a couple more little leaves. So you've got the little birdie, the one that does these couple of little, they look like baby's breath or something like that. That's what it reminds me of. And then this big fern that cuts out with this piece here. But do you know what my favorite stamp is in here? Who wants to tell me what my favorite stamp is? Who knows me really well? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the card. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make. Which is my favorite stamp? Someone want to guess? Any second now, I know someone's going to guess it. Yep, you got it, Judy. The splatter. This is my favorite stamp in the whole set. I just think that's really nice. And I have lots and lots of uses for that. I just love splattery stamps. They get me every time, right? I'm going to leave that out. So I've actually, just to save a bit of time, I've already cut the big leaves. Put this back in. And here they're here. I just cut them out of a piece. This is just very vanilla cardstock, but it doesn't matter what color you pick. It's only there to get the background, the shape. So it does not matter what paper you use. But I would use a paper that's not, like I wouldn't use tissue paper or cotton paper, because that would be really flimsy. This has got a little bit more body to it, and it doesn't really matter. But I'm actually going to put it, where will I go? Which way will I go with this? I'm going to put it so it sort of basically covers from corner to corner. Can you see that there, like that? Which is, if you have a look here, that's what I've done here too. I've got it going off the top here, going down to the corner here. So about there is right. We can turn it a little bit like that. And I'm just going to put it in the middle of my paper. Now I've got myself a spritzer. If you don't have any of these, next time you're putting an order in, stick a pair on your order. Okay, they're only $5 and you get two. So it's a tiny, it's really, really handy if you're trying to get, like, for example, if it's in Celebration and you're trying to get to $90 and you're at $85, get yourself a pack of these. And I'm just about to order some more because I have a whole bunch of them. I usually, don't throw the color out after each time I use it. I save it and I might use it several times over, and then I want to get a clean one for a different color. So it's handy to have more than one pack. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to angle this away. Make sure the little tip, make sure there's nothing immediately behind here, because you may get splatter everywhere, because that's the nature of splatter, right? All I've done is I've put in about, let me think. Everyone loves the splatters. Oh, we're all splatter girls. That's good. Hey, wouldn't that be a great name for... I wish I'd thought of that when I was naming my team of demonstrators, the Splatter Girls. How about that? That sounds kind of funky. I like it. So I usually put about a quarter or maybe even a third of water into this. Just unscrews. Okay, so you just fill it up at the tap and then put the lid back on. But then what you want to do is add your colour. And for this, I use re-inker. Now, re-inkers aren't just for re-inking. You can use re-inker for a myriad of different techniques and different things. Okay, and I use them in all different kinds of ways. In this case, I'm using Blackberry Bliss. And all I've done, I've already put it in. So I'm not going to, maybe I'll just put a little bit more in. It just means it'll be a little bit darker, that's all. So all you're going to do is you're going to open it up and put, just a few drops. Now, I've already got some in mind, but if I was starting with fresh water, I would probably put in maybe half a dozen, 6 to 10. That's where I'd go probably with drops. And this stuff lasts for ages and ages and ages anyway. Oh, look, I've got some on my paper. It's not going to matter because we're going to make splatter, hey? So a little bit of a splash over there isn't really a problem. All right, so I'm going to pull it up. Make sure the nozzle is facing towards the paper. Ask me how I know that. Anyone else ever had that problem? Where you didn't pay attention to which way the nozzle was going and sprayed yourself. Yeah, that's fun. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do it on slightly an angle, and not straight from above, slightly an angle away from me and over towards the back of the desk, but not down really low because I don't want to go way over the edge of the desk. So, oh, there it goes off to the side. So you can see it doesn't take much. Now, the harder you press, the darker. Like I pressed a bit harder there. So I'm really just wanting to do light splatters. That's looking pretty good, I think. Maybe one more. You can never have, you can keep going as long as you like. And then all you do is you lift it off. And then we've got this beautiful design left behind. How nice is that? Isn't that good? Love, 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 love that. Now it takes like 30 seconds to dry. It's really quick drying because it's just our inks, and the inks are water-based. I am well, thank you, Wendy. Thank you for asking. It's on the top of your card. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It really, because like it's going to end all up splattered anyway, Megan. So yeah, I don't actually even care about that. Anyway, so you can sort of see that one's a little darker than this one. I expect this to dry a little bit lighter, but because I used a little bit more ink than I did on this one, which I went quite easy on, this one ended up being quite light by comparison. So the other thing is you can experiment. You can use any color you like, all right? And you can use a couple of colors to give you some really interesting effects. So in this case, I'm just going with the one, and the color I'm using is Blackberry Bliss, okay? And Blackberry Bliss is featured really strongly, so is Rich Razzleberry, but featured really strongly in the paper. I'm going to grab the paper quickly. The problem is that my paper is all in pieces, so I don't have a full pack to show you. I can show you bits and pieces of a pack. This is one of my favorite pieces. This one, it's got, can you see it? It's got the, that's exactly what we're going to do, Shirley. Stop giving away my secrets. You're telling everyone what I'm about to do. This is card number 2, and guess what that just uses? So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So, this has got these lovely little gold bits on the top, okay? And then on the other side, we've got like holly. So that's the same design. This is the same one. So this paper is just stunning. I just love it. I love them all. They're so pretty, and you can see it's got that gorgeous gold foil fleck on it. That's why I'm surprised that it's still around, to be honest. It's so pretty. Don't worry, I'm not really cross. I don't get cross about those things. It just means that you're thinking the right way to know what it is that I'm going to do. You can see how pretty these designs are. All gold foil on with leaves and flowers, and just, yeah, it's just so pretty. This color here is cinnamon cider, which is a color I don't use a lot, and I probably wouldn't have thought to put it in this colorway. I mean, look at this. It's like oak leaves, and those colors, you got cinnamon cider, rich raspberry, gold. I mean, who would have thought to put those together? It looks amazing. It's fantastic. Cinnamon cider on the back. I've got, yeah, so I can't show you a whole pack. I'm sorry, because I keep chopping it up, but you get an idea. You get the idea anyway. This is polished pink, the pink in this, and that's like owls on the other side of that one. So there we go. Anyway, you get a bit of an idea about what the paper is like. It's so, so pretty. Well, this is one of the papers that has been so popular, and I'm a little bit sad to see it go, but pretty much always paper goes at the end of a catalogue. Very, very occasionally have I seen paper stay. Occasionally it does. We have an exception in our annual catalogue, which is that big paper with all the wood grain papers in it, the In Good Taste paper. That's been around for 2 catalogues now, and that's a bit unusual, but every now and then you see it. All right, so while we're waiting, well, this is pretty much dry. I don't even need to wait for it to dry, but I'm going to do the piece on top here. So I've got, make sure that's the right size. Yep, a piece of vellum that I've cut. Let me put something under it so you can see. If I put this under here. This is a piece of vellum that I cut with my layering circles dies. Another have-to-have tool are the circles dies. I just think they're so, so useful. And as you know, I think tools are where you get your best value. More than stamps, more than inks or paper, you get your best value from having great tools, and they're really important. Oh, you did a 6x6 one sheet wonder with this paper. That's lovely. That's a great idea. Oh, Rose, never too late. Don't worry. It's fine. All right, so I've got this here. Now on top here, you can see I've got this shape. And does anyone know what the shape is? Can you see what that shape is? Because I did a little trick for this. Let me grab. So I'm using the same shimmery white paper as my base. Okay, and I'm going to, this is a stamp. This is an interesting stamp that I don't know that I would have a lot of use for, but when it is the right occasion for this stamp could be perfect. So the stamp says, I know this is a difficult day. So I think that would be a really great sympathy stamp, or a stamp, you know, coming up to the anniversary of someone, something bad, or someone losing someone or something like that. I think it could be a useful stamp, even though I hope I don't have to use it very often. I will tell you something slightly funny though. Last night, here it is, here's the stamp. I must have had it sitting up on my desk this way and I didn't realize, and I was doing something on my desk. And when I went to bed, I noticed I had some ink on my arm, some rich raspberry ink on the underside of my arm. Didn't think too much about it. And then I realized that I actually had these words. I must have leant right on the stamp because it said on my arm, I know this is a difficult day. I don't have any tattoos, but if I was going to have a tattoo, this is not the tattoo that I would want on my arm. Okay, so just a little funny thought I had to myself this morning. All right, so let's stamp it. We're going to stamp it on here. You've been waiting on YouTube for me. I don't go to YouTube on Friday nights, Jenny, unless it's me. Have I got the right night? I think we've got the right night. Well, sometimes it's okay to have a day off every now and then, Angie, if you feel like you need one. That's just sometimes the way it goes. It's kind of funny, Jenny. Sorry. Don't want you sitting over there alone waiting for me to arrive. All right, so I'm going to stamp this here, on here. And the punch that I'm using for this is the Everyday Label Punch. This is possibly one of the most useful punches I think we have. It's very, very handy for all kinds of things. And I'm going to punch it. I've stamped it already and I'm going to punch it. And I'm going to punch it kind of over here on, I'm not putting it in the center of the punch. I'm putting it over on the side. Yep, YouTube on Sunday. That's it. Oh, that's all right. You know what? We all lose it sometimes and it's absolutely okay. All right, so what I then do is I feed it back in here, and I'm just going to hold it with my hand here, and I'm going to push this in as far as I want it to be, about there, and I'm going to punch again, and I've punched that bit off the end, and look, I now have the perfect shape for this little stamp. Isn't that cool? So don't ever think that you have to keep all your punches the same size and the same design that they're intended. A punch like this that's got a fair amount of space to work with can actually be used to create different shapes. And this is a really cool way to use this one. And I thought that that fitted really nicely in the middle of my vellum piece. Okay, and that's what I've done here. This is exactly what I did. So what I'm going to do while I think of it is sponge around the outside of my little piece now that I've punched. I know, isn't it a good shape? I love that. It's all right. Absolutely fine. You're here now, Jenny. Breathe deep and don't worry. All right. So I'm just going to go with my sponge dauber into my polished pink ink. Actually, I'm just thinking that this has got a bit of orange in my dauber there. Let me grab another dauber because that one has orange, not pink. Now, I don't have a dauber at hand, so what I'll do instead is bring in a bit of sponge. You know, we don't sell these anymore, which I'm a little bit sad about because I really liked my sponges. But if you have any left over, just keep using them as long as you can. They're fun. All right, just going around that. The set I'm using, Jenny, is this one here. It's called Beauty of Tomorrow, and I'm using it because it's marked. It's retiring in our current catalog, the mini catalog, and it's 50% off. Okay, so I want to let everyone know that there is some really great bargains to be had at the moment, and so definitely, if you don't have some of these sets and you're admiring them, grab them while you get a cheap bargain because they're going to sell out. Okay, they're going to go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals underneath this piece here. Yeah, I always sponge, Margaret. I like sponges and daubers and all that kind of thing. Now, I'm putting 2 here right in the middle because then that gives me room to work with because I want to slide a piece of paper underneath in a minute. So, all right, so just like that. All right, so it's in the middle. And can you see that I've got this piece here? So I'm actually using this paper. So I'm just going to bring my trimmer in. Oh, and Jodie would be proud of me. I'm going to close up my ink pad. There we go. I haven't seen Jodie here tonight. Don't know if she's here. $20 voucher. Ooh, that's good. All right, I'm going to... It doesn't matter how big you make this, but I'm just going 1/2 inch or what's 1/2 inch? 1.3 centimeters. There we go. And I'm going to have this piece going just under here. I liked the pink because it's pink and blackberry or pink and razzleberry in here, and it goes really nice with this background. So I'm putting it in here, and I want it to go kind of over the edges a little bit. So I'm going to rip this end. Sometimes it's nice to work with ripped edges. They look softer than a cut edge. And yeah, I think that looks good. All right. So I'm going to put that on after I attach this. This is going to end up on here. I'm a big lover of vellum, but particularly lately, for some reason, I've gone a little bit vellum crazy. I'm using on nearly everything. I love the soft edges that it gives you. And I just think it's well worth it for that reason. I'm going to use a couple more dimensionals. I'm nearly out of dimensionals on here. And I'm going to add them behind this label so you can't see them. That's true. That is true. Yep, they do need the space for the next lot of products. Can't keep everything. And even though some people lament the departure of certain items, if you're a customer, you can use them forever and ever. You don't have to worry about that. But the reason they have to get rid of them is because not only are they making space for new items, but also if they had the same things over and over again, as things are popular when they first come out, and then sales die off because they're not the newest and shiniest and greatest things anymore. So that's the reason really why they have to do it. All right, so I'm going to put this right about here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of Tombow. I just need enough to hold it here. And let's pop this under here. Just like, oh, I just realized what I didn't do. Man, I'm crazy. I'm a crazy girl. Here we go. I'm just going to pull that off very, very carefully. Does anyone see what I'm missing? And it makes a big difference to the card. I was looking at it going, there's something missing on my card. What is wrong? Now I know what it is. All right. Let's pop that over here on the side. And I shall come back to that. Remember I had this die out? The reason I left the piece in that's going to be used is because I wanted to show you how you get your paper out of a big die like this. Now, there are little holes that you can push a pokey tool through and that's going to start. But if you have one of these little die brush attachments, these go onto the end of your take your pick tool, all right? Once again, I'm talking tools, girls. Tools are fantastic, and these little die brush, they come with a sponge mat that you can help roll on them. But even if you don't have the sponge mat handy, I'm not using it tonight, just put that back on, you just run it over this and immediately it just wants to fall out. Okay, the other thing is it means I'll have no pushing. You know how you've got to push out all the little bits after you cut out an intricate die? That eliminates that almost completely. I'm going to pull this out, and I've only got a few little bits left here in the middle. See that there? A couple. All these ones here at the end have pretty much pushed out. It's going to make a liar of me. There's a few. let's push these out. Or I can run my brush over them again. If I use a mat, like as in I've got my little mat, the other thing is I usually do it from the reverse side. And part of the reason I do it from the reverse side is I don't want to scratch that beautiful foil. So, but the die brushes are fantastic. Anyone else got a die brush? Who's got one? Yeah, I missed the gold foil. The Netherlands ones to come out. Oh, do you mean you mean the cover of the new catalogue? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean, Judy? It is very nice. We've got a whole bunch of lovely new things coming for everybody in January. Now, this is too big, obviously, for this card. Way too big. But what I want to do, I don't know if you can see here. This is kind of like part of this. And I have actually cut these and then used the pieces on various little... various cards here and there, you know, a leaf here or a little bit of something coming out. Very, very handy. So I'm just going to cut this off. I'm deciding where to cut it. I might cut it here. So you can use it several times over, which is a really, really handy thing. I might just cut this one up here. So yeah, it's very useful. The other thing it looks really nice doing is coming out like just pretend for a second this is a photo on a scrapbook page. I mean, you can have this sort of coming out from underneath and that looks really pretty. And of course you can do this same technique with the spritzing on a scrapbook page too. All right, so this is kind of where I'm putting this. I just want a little bit of gold to come out here and there. So let's put this down. And will I use a little bit more? You know what, I might use a little bit more, but we'll see. I'm going to go with my Tombow for this. This Tombow is nearly empty. And I need to probably open up a new one. So you don't need very much Tombow, just here and there behind some of the big leaves. And I'm going to pop that right about there. And let me have a look and see how this looks now coming out from behind. See, so we've got a little bit of gold coming up here, a little bit of gold coming down here. Do I want some more coming out here? Maybe. But that's easy enough to do because it's not, I'm only using dimensionals, so I could easily have some more. So let me grab a bit more. That looks good. I'm going to have that popping out there. Yep, so a bit more Tombow. So this is a really nice die, and I'm kind of a little bit sad these are going because I think I could have found lots and lots of other ways to use them. But hey, that's life. And there's so much new stuff coming out, I'm pretty distracted with that. Oops, there's a dimensional back there, of course. All right, just like that. Then I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut off this piece in line with my card, like that. And we're going to add it. I decided, even though it's not the same colour, it kind of goes really nicely with the Fresh Freesia. And I wanted a lighter colour for my card base, so I'm using the Fresh Freesia for that. That's what I used on this one as well, as the Fresh Freesia. Yeah, that's a good idea too, Angie. I remember doing the dryer sheet thing. Right, I'm gonna whack this down. So it's a very simple little card, really. If I wasn't chit-chatting so much, we would have done it much faster. So my apologies for that. Just going back and reading a couple of comments that I missed. Here we go. Oh, when you said you have 3, do you mean you have 3 die brushes, Angie? Is that what you meant? Now this is a bit darker this time. I'm going to add some bling in the form of, these are the Gilded Gems, which I just love. I love the Gilded Gems. Use a little one on here. And maybe a medium-sized one up here, maybe. That looks nice, doesn't it? Oh, one thing that's missing is the ribbon. Now, do we need the ribbon? This is the question. What do you guys think? I've got some white seam binding ribbon, which I added here. I thought that looked nice. Shall I add it here as well? I could also color my ribbon and make it fresh freesia if I wanted to. What do you guys think? Do we need white ribbon? Ribbon white. Okay, Judy, you're first in. And Kay said yes as well, so we're going to go with that. All right, I am going to grab my ribbon scissors. You can see I've been cutting fresh freesia before, or colouring with fresh freesia. Can't even say fresh freesia. That's a bit hard to say. And I haven't even been drinking, guys. I promise. I can't drink because I've got to go pick up the kids later, so no drinking for me. Oh, there's a cat meowing outside the window, and it's not one of mine. Can anyone hear it? This cat's been visiting my window the last couple of nights. I don't know whether he thinks I'm going to feed him or something. But when I go out there, he runs. And my daughter wants another kitten. And she's got a stepdad, I think, on side. Now she's trying to get me on side. I'm like, really? I would love it. I mean, I'm sure if we have another cat, I will love it. But they're a lot of work, guys. And guess who ends up having to do all the work? And that would make Crumpet a middle child. I'm not sure how he'd feel about that. Oh, I mulched my ends. There we go. All right, let's glue dot that on. Now, this one I put it on this side. Same side again, or the other side? I think the same side. I think I've answered my own question. What do you think? Ooh, different people are saying different things. I'm listening to the first girls who answered. Up on the wall heater at 4 a.m. What does that mean? Did it hurt itself or did it cause damage? All right, so there I have a second card. A little bit darker this time, a little bit different, not much, very similar. Do we like it? I mean, such an easy way to use a spritzer to create a fantastic background. I think they look great. Love, love, love them. Same side. Oh, your computer turned off, Shirley. That's no good. I'm just showing how the cards turned out. This is the one I've just made. This is the one I made earlier. So this one was a little bit lighter. This is a little bit more, you can see more of the Blackberry, this one. But I like them both. Oh, I see. Yay, I'm glad you like them. All right, so I'll put that to one side. And of course, we have this piece left over. And it just made sense to use it, right? So this is the piece that I spritzed over before, the vanilla piece. And that is the other card that I made today, was this one. The one I was trying to photograph when, literally, I snapped the photo. Thank goodness I already got the photo. And the second after I snapped the photo, Crumpet lobbed himself right in front of the camera screen because he could see that's where my attention was and that's where he wanted to be. So, I took another photo, of course, because that's what you do when you own a cat. And then he got himself comfortable down in front of the light, in the light box in front of the photos, where I normally take photos, and that was the end of that. Thankfully, I had an okay photo that I could work with. So I'm using Crumb Cake cardstock. Crumb Cake is a really great neutral colour. Okay, I do use it quite a bit. Looks really good with gold because it's got a brown base. My favourite neutral at the moment, I have a few, but my favourite neutral at the moment is probably Grey Granite. That's got a slightly mauve undertone. And the other one, of course, that's really great is Sahara Sand. But Sahara Sand has got a green base. So let me show you. So I'm just thinking, have I got them all here? I think I do. So this is Crumb Cake. There it is there. Now this is Smoky Slate. That's a true grey, all right, like a silver grey. And you can see it's quite different against the Crumb Cake. They're not in any way the same, okay? Then you've got Grey Granite. That's, like I said, at the moment, this is my favourite. This has got, to me, more of a mauvey undertone. And I don't know if anyone else sees that, but I can see a mauve base to that. So it's a good neutral once again. It's not a brown. It's not a grey, really. It's more, yeah, it's almost got a stone to it. And then you've got Sahara Sand, and that's definitely got a green base. So I use them all for different things. I think if you're looking to decide what neutrals work for you and what you like the best, don't buy any of these. Buy the assorted pack of neutrals, because then you'll get 2 sheets of each, and then you can put them together and work out which ones work best for you and which ones you prefer. I think that's a good way to go if you're not sure what colour to get. Get the assorted pack, and then you get all of them. And that's an assorted pack right there. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it under there? So it's got, you know, early espresso, your dark brown, right through down into your beiges. So yeah, beiges and greys. Basic grey is your dark grey, lots of different ones. So what I've done here, to create a base for this card, I decided to pull out Soft Suede. Now this is another of the neutrals. This is the colour I would use most if I'm wanting to get into vintage. If you put Soft Suede and Crumb Cake together, it looks like an aged look, especially like we're going to do a little bit of that right now, so you'll see what I mean. I'm going to pick up the Soft Suede colour straight from the ink pad with my blending brush, which obviously I've used for this colour before. Then I'm going to start down the bottom, start on the page, and then start to build my colour up on the page. Now you're going to get a little bit of discoloration, and that is actually okay. All right, partly to do with the graininess of the paper. This is not, I mean, it's quite a soft paper, a porous paper. And so, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of graininess as you come across with your blending brush. Whereas white is very smooth. White tends not to do that. Can you see you get that kind of graininess to the bottom? And in this case, I'm looking for an antique look, so that's absolutely what I want. That's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to keep going up from the bottom. And that way it's darker at the bottom and starts to lose colour as it gets towards the top of the card. That way it gives you more of an ombre look. All right. Right. I think that's probably good enough. You won't see a lot of the bottom. Okay. You can only see a little bit down here, but you're not seeing a lot of the background because it's covered up with these leaves. All right. So then we have the stamp that I pulled out for you before. I've also bought in this stamp set here. This one has another nice splatter, guys. This one is Quiet Meadow, and Quiet Meadow has this beautiful splatter, this one here, that is really great for backgrounds. So I'm probably going to use a bit of that. But also we have in here this fantastic splotch, the splatter, whatever we want to call it. I don't know. I'm going to pop that on a small block or smallish block. That's probably B block would have been better, but I grabbed C, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, so I'm going to pick up, again, same colour. I'm going to go back into the Soft Suede. Yeah, I like that set too. Quiet Meadow has been a much used set in my household, and a set that's very similar, but it's not retiring in the mini, is the Nature's Harvest set. That's also quite a similar set. So we're going to give this splatter a little bit around the edges. You don't need to do much in the middle because that's where the leaves are going to be. So I'm going to have some coming out up here. And maybe a little bit up the side here. And we'll see maybe a little bit going up here. That's probably enough. And while we get it, we just do a couple with the splatter, because that's quite nice. So let's... I didn't do this one earlier. I just did the other stamp, so this will be a little different. All right, so it looking a bit grungy, dirty, interesting right now. And I hope you don't... there will be people out there, I'm sure, who think that I've just messed this up completely. But what I want to have happen is I want there to be kind of a little bit of splotchiness appearing underneath the stamp here. Okay, so I am going to go ahead, I'm going to put this straight on. You can put it on with, in this case, I actually used a few mini glue dots. So there's some glue dots behind some of the bigger parts of this, which lifts it up a little bit, and that's why the ends are up. Or I can use Tombow and glue the whole lot down so it's more flat. What do you think I should do? Do you guys think it looks better with the ends up, not completely flat? Or do you think I should put it down flat and get my dimension from the sentiments and so forth? What do people think? Just deciding which way it should go. That way, I think. Ends up. Okay, that means we're going to use dimensionals. You're very quick. You've got like trigger fingers, Judy. You're very fast with your answers. All right, so I'm going to put my glue dot, my dimensionals, and I'm using the mini ones. Minis are really great for things like this where you don't want anything to show. And I'm going to put them behind the big parts of my design. So you don't need to worry about having it everywhere. I'm just going to pop some down here. If you've got about half a dozen or more, I've got half a dozen now. I'm going to add a couple more, maybe 8. That's going to be enough to hold it. Maybe one more over here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to peel these off. 1, 2. How many did I end up with? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yep, 8. So this is also a great way of using up, you know, you're using up the piece that we used before, which means you're not wasting anything. So I quite like the crumb cake and the beige tones with the purples. I think it looks really, really pretty. Now, because I can't help myself, I've got here another vellum. I've actually got a couple of vellum pieces. This is the smaller one. I think that's too small. I'm going to grab another one that I cut earlier and put on my desk right here. And now oh, look, found it. So this one here. So this is smaller than the one that we used on the last card. And then I'm also going to use a motif. I'm using this die here to create this shape. Now this shape is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I really, really, really like it. This one here. So I'm just going to use this other stamp from the same set. So this is from the same set, the Beauty of Tomorrow set. For anyone who wasn't watching earlier, this set is 50% off right now. So it's being discontinued, but it's still available right now, but it's at a great price. So I don't know whether it will sell out, but it would not surprise me if it sells out at that price. All right, so here we go. I'm going to put this right here in the middle. Excuse me while I bring my head in so I can get this perfectly lined up because I don't like it to be crooked. There we go. It says I'm here for you. All right, so I'm going to pop this first. Some dimensionals on the back of that. Oh, I'm down to my last couple of dimensionals. I think everybody would know that when you do get down to your last dimensionals, you can use the edges, okay? So don't ever feel like you're stuck and you can't use, you're completely out when you use up the last dimensional. There's 300 dimensionals in a pack, 100 on each sheet. And when you get down to the ends, you just use the edges. They're very economical. So this is going to go on here like this. Now, before it goes onto here like this, I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use a couple of these edges. I probably should just get another packet out because I have got plenty, but I'm being a cheapskate instead. All right, I'm going to take my backs off that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my beautiful, beautiful, not retiring, hooray, metallic gold ribbon. This is the gold shimmer ribbon. And I'm going to pop this sort of so it touches those dimensionals on the back there. And then I'm going to kind of make it go where I want it to. I'm just going to... Right, so can you see what I've done? I've kind of just draped it over the back there. Now, you can still move it if you're not happy with exactly where it is. So if those loops are too big, you can move it, and you can always trim off the ends. That's better. I like that better. Then I'm going to cut this end here. And this one here. Like that. And now you can see that this ribbon is going to sit there and just loop around. That end there is a bit long, so I'm going to make it a bit shorter. No, still a bit long. So you've got a bit of wriggle room using dimensionals like this. And if you face it towards you so you can see how you want it to look. Why am I being so fussy? I don't know. All right. Now we've covered up a lot of the sticky on the back. So I'm actually going, you can do a couple of things. You can put glue dots. You can use more dimensionals, which is usually what I choose to do, to be honest. Not that anyone's surprised by that. I'm just going to grab, oh, I've got millions of mini dimensionals, but I need to grab some more big ones. Here we go. So I've got some more big ones here. Open up a new sheet. And I'm going to put these in places where the other dimensionals weren't, because I don't want it to be double height. I'm putting them elsewhere. Take the backs off those. It's a big mess at the back, a bit like embroidery, but no one cares because no one looks at that side, right? That's still too long, you know. I'm still not happy with how that's positioned. Don't know why I'm so fussy tonight, guys. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe, who knows what it is. I just think it was a little bit too, that's better. And I'm going to chop that off shorter. That's better. Okay. All right, so you might notice that there's a little bit more something going on here, which is this little bit. I did the same as I did on the first card. I added a little bit of paper, and I've got a couple of paper options. I can have the wider leaves or the smaller leaves. I used the smaller leaves on the first one, and I'm thinking I might go that way again, actually. I like them both. Oh, I don't know. Let's go the other one just because we can. Is it a full moon with you? I haven't noticed, Wendy. Thank you. You asked, but I have no idea, to be honest. All right, how wide will I make this? Will it be... The other one was how wide? It's less than a centimetre. I'll go a centimetre and we'll see. That's similar, maybe slightly wider than the first one. And I did the same thing. I sort of tore the ends, worked out how long I wanted it, and then tore the other end. And then I put on some Tombow. You guys must think I'm such a cheapskate. I really need, I can't help myself. I have to go to the very, very end of my Tombow, even if I'm sort of squeezing the last little bit out, because I just hate wasting it. Such good stuff. All right, it's looking good. And then what we'll do is what we did before, which will add some bling, which is the Gilded Gems. Again, I'm loving these. These are so nice. These are in the annual catalogue, and they've been around for a couple of years now, and I'm so glad because I just love them. I think I'll do what I did on the card originally, which is put a little one just there. We'll put a big one down here in the corner, and a medium-sized one over here. There we go. And there we go. We have another card. And this one, of course, is a little darker because remember when we sprayed it, we sprayed a little bit heavier than we did on the original. So there we go. So they're the cards that we've done tonight. What do you think? You're the same with Tombo. You get down to the very dregs of it. Can't help myself. Yeah. There we go. All right, so these are 2 cards. So now I have 4 because I did 2 earlier in the day. And there we go. So the whole point of using this suite tonight was that this paper is retiring and the paper itself is not on sale, but it's so beautiful that I think you probably, if you love it and you want to get some, grab it now because it's not going to be around for very long. And then the other stuff that was in here, the stamp set and the dies are 50% off. There are a lot of other things in here. Okay, I've just showed you one set of stuff tonight. Other stuff that's going that is amazing, the cork paper. Did anyone see that the cork paper was going? Oh my goodness. Can't believe that stuff is going. It's my favorite. Love, love, love it. These brushed metallic dots are staying. Those are not retiring, but the paper is going and the paper is 50% off. $10 for this paper. Can you believe it? Okay, so please, please, please go and have a look at the online store. It is absolutely well worth it at the moment. And while you're there, check out the clearance rack as well because there's some real bargains in there as well. There are things in there up to 60% off, I believe. So pretty cool. If you are a demonstrator, definitely pay attention to these kinds of sales because if you're a demonstrator, you get your discount, your demonstrator discount on top of the other discounts. So it's like being a VIP customer. Okay, so definitely something you want to think about if you're a demonstrator. Go check those out so you can get a real bargain. All right, guys. Yeah, I was surprised the cork paper is going too, Nairi. I've just loved it so much and I'm going to miss it. That's a shame. All right. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I'm looking forward to having a little bit of a rest tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, I'll be back on Sunday night on YouTube. Jenny, I'm on YouTube on Sunday night. Don't come to Facebook, okay? Sorry, I shouldn't be having a go at you, but I think it's funny because it's something that I would do. There you go. All right. All right. Have a fantastic weekend, people, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.